Just look at that. The Asus ZenBook Flip S UX371EA laptop. A complicated name but a beautiful laptop. Let's rip it apart. Hey everyone, Mukul here. As always, a friend bought this laptop and was kind enough to lend it to me for a couple of days. So I had a pretty decent time with it, and here is my truest feelings and objective analysis about it. Wow, big words. Now let's foremost consider how much it costs. Well, here in India, it is priced to about 1.4 to 1.5 lakhs, which translates to 2000 US dollars. But on Amazon US, it costs around 1500 US dollars, which is a huge drop as compared to the pricing here, but it's still a good amount of money for sure. I will post the affiliate links in the description below, and if you find this review useful, then I would really appreciate it if you can buy this laptop from those. That is, of course, if you decide to buy this. Now the laptop comes equipped with Intel i7 11th Gen, which has 4 cores and 8 threads and can boost about 4.7 GHz, and the all-core performance should sustain around 2.8 GHz. And because it's a system on chip, the GPU is on board too, which can boost from 400 to 1350 MHz. And as the laptop I reviewed isn't a review unit, and neither I am the owner of the laptop, I didn't have the guts to open this ultra expensive machine. But thanks to Notebook Check, we know that only the M.2 can be swapped by users who know how to do it, and the RAMs are soldered in. I will post the other specs of the laptop on the screen, as I really want to immediately talk about the important aspect of the laptop now. The laptop is definitely built like a tank, and I am not kidding. This laptop has passed MIL standard 810G tests, which mean it can withstand some stressful conditions. Asus has made a dedicated page on the details, and covering it here will just extend the duration of this video, and it will also make the video look like a marketing video, which it definitely is not. But despite this certification, I will never ever suggest you to drop your laptop on hard surfaces ever in your life. The laptop just feels so edgy and well made. The red copper accents are visible throughout the laptop and just adds to its brilliant premium aesthetics. But the owner of the laptop isn't quite happy with the sharp edges of the laptop has. As because it is supposed to be this light and ultra portable laptop, one would sometimes feel like using it in the tablet mode. And those sharp edges and the 1.2 kilograms weight would certainly make it feel like a little too cutting edge for the palm, especially when you hold it for a long period of time. The overall texture of the laptop is this spiral brush finish look, which will look nice if you are in a habit of keep staring at your gadgets with moving lights around them for a long frigging time. And the laptop chassis is complete metal. On the right of the laptop, you would find the power button with a USB 3.2 Gen 1 port, and on the left there are 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports with a massive 40 Gbps transfer speeds. Or if you want to connect external monitors, or let's say in the future if you want to connect external GPUs, or let's say some other drawing tablets which need power just by the Thunderbolt 4 port. But if you do not have devices around you that can make good use of those Thunderbolt ports, then you would definitely miss having more USB-A ports on the device. But yeah, there is no 3.5mm jack on the laptop. Well, thanks Apple. But they do supply a 3.5mm adapter with the laptop. So yeah, have fun extensioning it. Even though the laptop lifts up slightly for air ventilation, I personally feel the 135 degrees angle could be a tad too much of an angle for many of the users. Now let's talk about the beautiful screen which is on this laptop. As I truly believe the salesman at one of these offline stores is gonna pitch you the most when you're out there to buy one of these laptops. The 13.3 inches 4K OLED panel on the laptop is by Samsung, and boy is it a beautiful panel or what. The screen brightness touches up to 400 nits and was ample bright, and even outdoors it was definitely brighter than all the recent laptops I reviewed. Despite the fact that I will never ever understand the logic of putting that massive 4K resolution on a 13-inch screen, the screen looks very darn impressive. I mean, for reference, by default your text scaling will be set to 300% when you operate this machine. So that means your 4K panel is zoomed in thrice just so that you can read stuff easily on the laptop. Unless and until you are planning to do a lot of data stuff in software like Excel, this resolution will be mostly worthless for you to work on it directly. Well, it definitely has more pixels per inch, but I honestly think a 1440p screen would have been more than enough too if they just wanted to market any resolution above the 1080p for a laptop in this class. The viewing angles are extremely beautiful. There was almost no shade till the very extreme angle at which, to be honest, no one would ever want to stare at a screen anyway. The colors pop up beautifully as I watched a few color popping videos on it. The OLED panel truly knows its high contrast ratio, and there was no backlight bleed, of course, as the pixels completely shut off at pure blacks on OLED panels. And there was no weird color tinting issues too. The DCI P3 coverage is at almost 100%, so a lot of you color correction freaks might love this panel, but I would suggest you to never assume that this is a professional color grading screen. It's an excellent portable screen which will be more than enough for most of your needs, so yeah, just be happy with it because you paid for it. The screen supports HDR, but enabling it turned the colors of the screen a bit washed out, so I would not recommend it. But hey, if you want to sometimes watch those YouTube HDR videos in HDR, you can play with it every once in a while just to feel that more worth from the laptop. The only major thing lagging on the screen is the fact that it's just 60Hz, so when everything is so top notch on this panel, then just a tiny boost in screen refresh rate to, let's say, even 75Hz would have made the screen almost damn perfect. I mean, moving those windows could have felt so much smoother on a 4K resolution at 75Hz, but anyway, I guess that's for future releases. The screen is completely glossy though, and because it's a touchscreen panel, you would definitely want to touch the hell out of it, which will definitely leave all your dirty fingerprint marks on it, which might later turn the screen visually irritating if it is reflecting any sort of light over it. But the touch response of the screen was absolutely smooth, and I would need to declare yet again that as compared to all the recent laptops I reviewed, this has the best touch screen response. The laptop also comes with a stylus pen which just magically sticks to the back and near the touchpad of the laptop, and I'm happy to report that the pressure sensitivity was supported right off the bat, or the ball, or the football, in software like Photoshop. But really, I would again make it very clear that if you're a sketching artist or a digital painter, this is not the experience you would want from a stylus on the screen. First of all, the screen is extremely glossy, so that is strike one. And then there is an apparent lag between the pen and the screen response as you work with it. For other sorts of tasks like making notes, rough scribbling, and other non-serious painterly stuff, this is fine. But if you think this can be used as an alternative to a Wacom or an Apple iPad or Huion, then you'd be heavily disappointed by its performance, especially at that insane price mark. The almost edge-to-edge keyboard makes good use of the real estate, and the keys are nicely spaced. Typing on the laptop with these keys felt good overall. And I personally like keys that stand taller as compared to their counterparts. The keys are also backlit and have 3 different modes of brightness levels. However, the lights aren't as bright to be visibly lit in a bright room, but you wouldn't have problems using it in a dark room, as any amount of light is generally visible in a completely dark room, so yeah. The function keys also support a host of shortcuts like completely disabling the webcam for total privacy, as if the social media doesn't already have enough info about us. The touchpad is quite wide, and hence you will have ample space to move those fingers around. Also, as with the other parts of the laptop, this was very well built and has no rattling sounds anywhere over it. The touchpad also works as your hidden numpad keys, which you would love if you are an accountant of sorts. The speakers are by Harman Kardon, and they are just brilliant. The sound is so rich and decently loud, especially considering the small form factor of the laptop. I mean, the speakers on these are clearly one of my favorite among the previous laptops I have tested here. Also, the DTS audio software supports a variety of modes that are noticeable and aren't just there for the sake of it. They are something that actually work. I was able to churn out the maximum volume from the laptop speakers with the traditional stereo sound with the vocal boost on. The 720p webcam is of extreme average quality, which is a huge letdown considering the laptop price. But the microphones will capture excellent sound for your video calls and similar stuff. The MyAsus software supports a variety of background noise cancellation features, and here are some of the samples of the video with and without them.
So currently I'm playing a background sound of traffic in India. That's actually a YouTube video. So yeah, you can judge if the voice is cutting right now or not. I think right now it's not on any optimization mode, So I'm gonna change to basic reception optimization now in 23410. 23410. Oh, I'm literally sleepy. And this is the basic reception optimization now. And now I'm gonna change to single presenter conference call mode. So now this is the single presenter conference call mode. And the next one is a multi-presenter conference call, but I'm not going to try that because there aren't any multiple people here.
The face unlock on the laptop happens pretty darn fast and I was satisfied with it. Talking about the battery of it, this has a 67 watt hour 4-cell battery and it came with a 65 watt power adapter. I was able to charge 50% of the battery in about 42 minutes with a supplied charger. The laptop can also charge at a mere 4.5 watts with non-power delivery chargers. So at least if you ever forget your charger, you can always charge the laptop with any USB-C charger around. Well, in casual use and at 70% brightness and at performance mode, the laptop gave a decent screen on time of around 3 hours for about 50% consumption of the battery. So in total, you can expect about 5 to 6 hours of battery backup from the laptop under similar conditions. I mean, which is pretty good considering many of you would leave the screen at 4K resolution, and if not, then why did you even invest in this? I mean, no one would definitely buy a 4K laptop to save the battery by running it on 1080p. I had just recently reviewed a 14-inch HP laptop which had Intel i5 11 Gen SoC on it, and the all-core performance of it was terrible and it thermal throttled quickly. I thought that it was maybe because of the bad thermal design HP implemented on the laptop, but even the Intel i7-1165G7 on this laptop didn't do wonders in terms of thermal performance, as even this laptop only has a single large heat pipe to carry all the heat the processor blew out in my testing. As you can see in this graph, as soon as I start a CPU render to test the all-core performance, the i7 tried to peak to 4.1 GHz, but quickly and drastically dropped to 2.6 GHz due to the sudden spike in temperature to 95 degrees Celsius. The exact same behavior was spotted on the HP laptop. But it doesn't stay around 2.6 GHz and further depletes to around 2.3 GHz, so in a way it kind of behaved worse than the HP laptop. And in the process, it maintained an overall CPU package temperature of around 70 degrees Celsius, whilst maintaining a total power consumption of around 15 watts. I mean, this laptop could have been a powerhouse if the thermals on it were just maintained better. It's massively disappointing that after shelling this amount of money on a compact laptop, you still got to see such bad thermal throttling performed by both a combination of the processor's tendency to heat up this quick and the bad thermal components installed in the laptop's chassis. Due to these spikes in temperatures, the fans kick in quickly and they are quite audible at 100% usage. But once the CPU finally settles at a moderate temperature, the fans calm down a bit. The ideals at which the CPU package temperature sits at was around 43 degrees Celsius, so removing the ambient temperatures, that's about 30 degrees Celsius, which means that if you live in a hot freaking city, then the ideal temperatures won't be loved by any of you. And that means you should forget doing any sort of above average CPU intensive work on the laptop, as it might just start feeling laggy. And this also means that you should forget doing any sort of gaming on this laptop too. I tried doing a basic 4K video editing test on it and I was able to script throughout the timeline quite easily with some lag, but as expected, the video took a lot of freaking time to export. Almost 8 times of what my PC does, to which of course this shouldn't be compared to, but I have no other data than this to throw on your face, so yeah. The bundled MyASUS software has a decent UI and shows a lot of features like diagnosing and troubleshooting a bunch of issues that you might face in the future. And you can also adjust other hardware settings like maintaining till what percentage the laptop battery should charge. And there are also different fan profiles if you want to keep it at a whisper mode because of all the whispering. You can also adjust a bunch of display settings and play with different AI-enabled noise cancellation features for the mic. The link to MyASUS feature in this application was pretty sweet. By installing the same app on your phone, which was an Android phone in my case, you can totally clone your phone screen to the laptop. And as another option, you can also make your phone's tiny screen as an extended screen for some reason. And also the ability to pick calls directly and talk via your laptop microphones and speakers is going to be extremely handy for a lot of users, especially once you set this up. Imagine not swapping headphones or getting distracted from the laptop screen to your phone screen when a call comes in. So obviously, as the laptop is not marketed towards any sort of gamers or any sort of professionals who want great rendering speeds from their compact machine, I feel that this is mainly targeted towards users who are creative professionals or do a lot of photo editing stuff, and hence they want an absolute color accurate screen on a portable form factor. So one has to ask themselves if getting this laptop really worth it for the price it is coming at, especially in a country like India right now. I mean, if you are by chance aware of what Apple is and what they had recently launched with their M1 processor, and if you use software which the macOS supports too, then buying this Asus laptop makes little sense to me. And the only major reason is its price, which I'm pretty sure will drop over the span of few weeks or months ahead. Asus definitely tried to sell one of the best touchscreen panels on a laptop here, which they definitely succeeded to do in combination with the other great thing this laptop has. I mean, the speakers are fantastic, both the keyboard and the touchpad are great, the mics on are pretty good, but shedding so much amount on a laptop and getting hindered massively by thermal throttling by this Intel chip, well, it is kinda sorta hugely disappointing. I mean, I'm pretty sure any consumer in this whole wide world would not be okay with the fact that in case if they ever need to push the all-core performance of their device to perform a certain task, and if that makes them face this huge performance bottleneck, well, that won't be a good feeling at all. So can I recommend this laptop? Well, I can, but strictly for casual use and nothing else, but only after a major price drop over it. I can never happily suggest this laptop to a friend at its current pricing, I mean. Logically speaking, it's easier to attach a good external monitor later on any laptop, but it's not easier to enhance the performance bottleneck on a laptop with this form factor. So yeah, definitely wait for the price drop if you are considering this in any sort of way. So yeah, I guess this is about it. I will post the laptop's link in the description below in case you like the review and you plan to buy the laptop too. You can also check out our Discord server for more chit chats on this or literally anything else. Make sure to hit the like with the sub and the bell. Oh my god, so much stuff. If this video helped you in any way, that's all for today. MewBot out.